Hi, this is Father Louis Scurti with a special version of our reunion series. Father Mike Russo teaches a course, many courses, but one course on the relevance of church and faith and videos and communication. And he'll be teaching some of these subjects in Rome this summer. He uses a few videos and movies that are very popular, have been very popular, and I'm going to ask him to give us an overview of them, and maybe you on your own, wherever you are, you can go get them from the video store or online and view them and give your own interpretations of them. So we're going back to Monterey, California, where Father Mike Russo is going to give us an overview of a few very strong Catholic-oriented, faith-oriented movies. How was that? Was that all right? Was that just?
Yeah.
Okay.
For my religion, media, and culture class, I always introduce students to a conversation about religion and religious themes that come out of films. These are very specific films that I use in my class, the first of which is The Flowers of St. Francis by Roberto Rossellini. You may know that Roberto Rossellini was once married to Ingrid Bergman.
Oh, right.
He was a very famous Italian director. This film is just a beauty. It's a gem. Fellini, that is Federico Fellini, and Roberto Rossellini co-produced this. And it's a great, great film, and of some humor and some beauty, I must say. The second film that
Before you get to the second, I have to say one personal thing about Federico Fellini. When we were in college and seminary, I followed him like I was a groupie. I watched all his movies, and one day I decided I'm going to write to him just to get a response. And sure enough, he wrote back, and I still have it framed on a card, misspelled my name, I guess because it was he misunderstood my handwriting, so I guess it was my sloppiness. But it got the last name, and just basically thanked me for what I had said, and signed the card. And I said, "Oh my, like that was like getting something from the Pope." I mean, directly.
Well, it was interesting with Fellini himself. He began where the church was condemning his movies.
Yes.
And he ended where one of the top cardinals did his funeral. Because by the end they realized how important those were to the spiritual direction of people's lives. Pope Francis thinks that La Strada is one of the great movies of abandonment and
absolutely
bringing people together in love.
See, that's important, that we realize the media doesn't always have to begin with the sign of the cross and end with the sign of the cross, that we have to invest ourselves and our spirit into current good movies to really get the flavor and the spirit that is so salvific for us as Christians.
Well, the most recent biblical epic, if you can call it that, is Risen,
yes,
by Kevin Reynolds, starring Joseph Fiennes. I recommend that movie highly.
Risen,
and of course,
yes.
It fits into the great tradition of placing religious pageants onto film. One of the things to know in the history of film, among the very first multi-reel films were the filming of great pageants in Germany and in Italy and in Spain. So that movie I would recommend highly. I'm going to be having my students watch it. It's coming out on DVD, I believe, on May 24th. So that's worth taking a look at.
Interesting that the pageants are so popular in the Middle Ages. When we realize that the Gospels all started with the Passion, and then they filled in, the birth narratives and the miracles. But the Passion was because that's the key. So I think that the pageants that display the passion of Christ is so important, and I'm looking forward to the Risen.
And that's why the Station of the Cross, as you described in our previous little broadcast, that it's part of the narrative of our own lives,
yes,
that we see in a way the suffering, but also the resurrection.
Right. Okay. What others?
Film that I would recommend. This movie came out several years ago. Into Great Silence. If you want to know something about monastic life, this 2-hour movie. It's long. There are very few words in it, but you go behind the scenes of the Carthusian monastery in France. And you hear the chanting, you see the office, you see the light, you see the incoming, one of the incoming monks being brought into the order, and the careful way in which the monk tailor is tailoring his vestment. It's a very compelling and important movie.
As you're speaking about it, just hold it to the center of your screen so our audience can. It's called The Great Silence.
It's Great Silence.
Great. And described as utterly spellbinding. And you would agree,
Yes.
probably. That's great.
Another film that was more recent, Martin Sheen's son, Emilio Estevez, did this film on the journey to Compostela, the journey, the pilgrimage in Spain. And if you can't go to Spain to do that many hours, miles walk of days, you can take this with Martin Sheen, who's in the film. A compelling drama about the lives of people and how religion intersects with that.
So it's like a drama and intersects all these various lives?
Yeah.
Very much like the Bridge of San Luis Rey.
Martin Sheen, who starred in the West Wing, among other things.
Right, right.
He began with Father Bud Kaiser, the Paulist films, and the Insight series.
Oh,
his whole career, Martin Sheen's whole career, has been based on being an actor in Hollywood who also happens to be a very devout Roman Catholic. And activist.
Great, and how excellent. Thank you. So these are the jumping off points for us to encourage our audience, mutual audience, West and East Coast, to get more involved with studying media and expanding our faith.
Well, it sparks the conversation. As you know, in your ministry and mine, the ability after church to stand around with people and kibitz about life is as important about what's going on in the church.
Yes.
And to be able to engage people in a person-to-person way is who we are. And film does that for some people, not everybody. But for those people who are interested, and it's a way of kind of bringing that conversation and making it alive.
Michael, thank you so much for these past interviews and this one. This will be made into our program. It will be via YouTube and then on our Friends of the Word as an interview with famous Michael. Well, are they calling you Dr. Michael Russo also?
No, I go by Mike Russo, the same name my grandfather went by.
Oh, great.
The titles, and degrees mean very little in my way of thinking. It's more what you provide, service, help, comfort to people day to day, person to person, heart to heart.
Wonderful. You could have said it better. Thank you, Michael, and thank you for the interviews. And to our audience, thank you for joining us on East and West Coast with Father Mike Russo and Louis Scurti, sharing Friends of the Word. God bless you.
God bless you.